Never-Ending Chain by Dragon Translator. Chapter 96. Sorry, Moondust. In the time since the mated pairs and the 3 visiting flocks left, the Squadrons, a pod of 15 adults who could fight if called upon, and the Tide Gliders, a pod of 10 that came with the Changelings, worked out places to live in the inlets and coves around the island, while both groups set their patrol routes with input from Hiccup, Stoic, Hawk, and his top fishers. The Squadron pod also had 5 fledglings. They were hidden in a sea cave ring fire found while taking our hatchlings to explore the caverns underneath Berg proper. While the fledglings' parents were out on patrols, 2 of the Tide Gliders and all of the youngling Squadrons, which were 5 in total, would guard the cave. The Changelings found homes with the villagers, tribe members setting up to house the guest guards in their huts, as they were able. The Hoffersons set that example by housing 2 of the 80. Those 2 respectfully did not sleep in Stormfly and Windwalker's den, a gesture that Hiccup knew Astrid appreciated. The head guard, as befitting her status in her own nest, as well as her kinship to the queen of that nest, stayed with Stoic, Hiccup, Toothless and Sharpshot in the chief's hut. Her mate, who had also volunteered for the task, stayed with them as well. After finding dens for most of the nest dragons, Hiccup noted that none, including the mated pairs that were gone, wished for a den near to the northern swamp, or the jut of land that extended out in the northern bay, and prevented the swamp water or the river that flowed from it to reach that bay. Hiccup did not think much about it when finding those dens. He knew from everyone's time in Gyda's home as they watched the god's message that the dragons had a powerful sense of smell. Given that the swamp was off-putting to even Gobber, who did as much as he could to get out of wash day, Hiccup figured the nest dragons did not want to live near the smell. That the flightmares avoided that jut of land, though they did stay in a cave in the swamp, confused Hiccup. He resolved to find out why later. No nest dragon acted as if that jut of land was a threat, so it felt a low priority for him. Right now, he had more pressing matters. The absence of their dragons weighed upon his friends. He and Gyda decided to up their karate training in the hopes of occupying them. At different points in the day, he, Toothless, Torgir, Firestorm, and Gyda and Shadowfire gave the other teens rides so that they could still get into the skies. He noted each time his friends, even Astrid, were reluctant and fidgety. He laid that down to missing their dragons. This day, 3 weeks since the dragons left, and just after their morning training with Gyda, Hiccup, noting the teens were even, decided to have Snout ride with him and Toothless, Fishlegs ride with Torgir and Firestorm, and the twins ride with Gyda and Shadowfire. Since Moondust had told Hiccup any teen could ride upon her back if they needed, Hiccup was going to have Astrid ride her. That way all the teens could get some flying in and not wait any turns. He thought it was a great plan until Astrid looked as if she was in pain while sitting upon Moondust's back. "Astrid?" Hiccup asked, helping her off of the female Night Fury's back and sitting her down on a barrel left out after some axe-throwing practice Edith had put him and Astrid through the day before. "Are you okay?" "It's nothing, Hiccup." "No, we're not doing that, Astrid. No one is letting any problem, pain, concern, or issue fester. Not anymore. We are a team. All of us. Now, what is wrong?" Astrid grunted, her hands fisted. "When Stormfly and Windwalker left for that first month, I felt like something was missing inside. Flying with you and Toothless didn't really help. In fact, I felt resistance to flying. Not enough to stop me, though." She took a breath through her nose, and Hiccup heard the slight snarl undercutting the noise. "With Moondust, I felt like I was betraying Stormfly, and it hurt." Astrid frowned, then her eyes widened, and she looked towards Moondust. "Sorry," she said. You didn't do this." "Ease your worry, Lady Alpha," Moondust said. "I hold no offence. I am curious if that is also the reason Alpha was reluctant to ride upon my back when Toothless was sick." Hiccup rubbed the back of his neck, causing Sharpshot to snort and slightly smack his hand with a gentle paw. "You'll rub a wound there, brother," the Terror muttered. Hiccup grunted but focused back on Moondust. I didn't lie to you. I really didn't want to hold your sensing lobes while flying, but I did feel the resistance to fly with you. It may have hurt, but I was so worried about Toothless that I didn't really notice any pain. You probably didn't feel any pain, Gita said. Just the resistance. I'm sorry, Hiccup. I should have realised this might happen. Back home, bonded riders don't ride other dragons, so it's not widely known what the effects of a rider riding a non-bonded dragon is. My dad knew, though. Not sure how he knew, but he did. A rider with a full bond between themselves and their dragon will feel resistance at even the thought of riding another dragon. The resistance is small if the dragon in question is bonded to another. It's even smaller if that other rider and their dragon is family. Flock. Gita gestured to all the riders, even Torgir and the 3 remaining bonded dragons. We have formed a flock of our own by being riders and bonded dragons. Moondust, though a part of the nest, is not part of this flock. I rode Windwalker and felt the same level of resistance as when I rode Toothless, Astrid said. And I've ridden Boulder before, when he and I went looking for some special rocks for Meatlug. Fishlegs commented, I felt odd, but I thought that was because Boulder and I were still getting to know one another. We've ridden Sugar and Spice before, Roth said. Barf and Belch had a sick tummy, and Gothi had us getting something from the northern swamp to help him. We felt weird, but nothing like what Astrid was saying, Tuff said. Windwalker, Boulder, Sugar and Spice, and Wingblaze are mated to bonded dragons, Gita said. They are part of this flock we've created. The bond recognizes them. Moondust is not. The bond doesn't recognize her. So you're saying when team mates with Moondust, she'll be flock? Tuff asked. Hiccup grunted. Tuff, Toothless, and Moondust aren't courting each other. I was just asking in an in-case kind of thing, you know? Gita pinched the bridge of her nose, and Hiccup felt like doing the same. And that is a big if. Toothless and Moondust of their own will decide to become mates. Then yes, she will be flock, and the bond will recognise her just as it does the others. So we're back to the others taking turns among you, me and Torgir? Hiccup questioned Gita before Tuff could ask the question that Hiccup saw in the tween's face. Yes, Gita answered. Sorry, Moondust. Do not apologise, she said. I hold no offence. Hiccup frowned. Then how will we do this? Hiccup, Astrid said. Go on and take Snotlout up. I'll wait. I wanted to speak to Moondust anyways. Hiccup looked down at her, cupping her cheek. You're sure? She smiled and nuzzled into his hand. I'm sure. Go. I'll be here. Hiccup placed a soft kiss to her forehead, then ran his fingertips across the top of Moondust's head, before moving back to Toothless. He climbed into the saddle. Sharpshot crawled over his shoulder and hopped off onto the stone floor. Hiccup stared down and lifted an eyebrow. I will stay, brother, Sharpshot said. Sneaky and I will help Moondust watch over Sister. Sister? Astrid said. Sharpshot curled his neck so he could stare at Astrid. Yes, Sister. You will be my brother's mate soon, after all. And I consider you a sister, if that is okay, Sneaky said from her place upon Astrid's shoulder. Hiccup watched Astrid gently pull the female terror into her lap and scratch her horns. It is okay, and thank you, Astrid said. Sneaky nuzzled into Astrid's frame. Sharpshot turned back to Hiccup and bowed before bounding over to sit next to Astrid's foot. Moondust also bowed to Hiccup and moved to curl over to sit on Astrid's left side, her tail curling around to rest next to Sharpshot. Hiccup smiled, then nodded to Snotlout, who climbed up behind Hiccup and held on to Sharpshot's claw holds. Hiccup tapped Toothless's neck. Toothless's wings flared. He rose to a hover. Fishlegs climbed onto Firestorm, holding onto Torgir's shoulders. Rough and Tuff joined Gita upon the Shadowfire. Both dragons rose to hover as well. Toothless shot out of the entrance, Firestorm following. Shadowfire chuckled and brought up the rear. Hiccup glanced back as they banked over the academy. Astrid was looking at Moondust and scratching the Night Fury's head. Hiccup smiled. Okay, Toothless, you're deciding the flight today. Sure, brother. With that, Toothless banked out over the waters next to the harbour, and then banked again, heading towards the cove. End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed this one. Fascinating bit of lore there. And that bit with Sneaky saying that she considers Astrid a sister. Aww. Jeez Louise, these two are just equivalents of each other in every way, and it's driving me nuts. Anyway, also, Top's questions about Moondust. I mean, he's skipped to the last chapter. He knows what's going to happen. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, whatever time zone you're in. Bye, my guys, and non-binary vowels. I'll see you in another video. Take care.